Evening, gang. Welcome along to our little Sunday night chat show. It's 8 o'clock on Sunday, the 4th of July 2021. Good evening. Of course, it's Independence Day, isn't it? I want your independence. Independence. I want your... Did we play that the other day? What one did we play? Independence. Is that Lulu? I think Vera had that played the other... maybe Friday on the radio show. Was it Vera? Anyway, hope you're well. It's been raining and sunny and raining and sunny and all day long. All day long. I haven't managed to do a litter pick. Most disappointed with myself. I just about managed to cut the lawn in between the rain today. And blimey, it did come down. And then round about 10:45, I thought I'll pop down the Co-op. I had a pizza that I bought from Aldi the other night in the fridge. And I thought I'd get some toppings for it, you know, like onions and peppers and what's the other thing? Mushrooms I bought. So I thought I'll go down the Co-op. And the rain stopped and I was in the Co-op no more than 2 minutes picking up these items. And the automatic door opened and once again it was pouring down with rain. You know, believe it or not, I had a hooded top on today. I thought it was a bit chilly. It weren't warm until the sun came out and then it was warm again. So I got wet on the way home. In the end, I got the pizza out the thing and I chopped up a whole pepper. The time I put that on, I thought, oh, blimey, that's enough. Do you know what I mean? And also some Cadbury's Dairy Milk ice cream. Have you had that? It's in a tub. Much cheaper than all the Ben & Jerry's and all that. It's about £2.75 in the Co-op. And it's a vanilla ice cream. And in the middle, it's like... I don't know what it is. It's like a chocolate ice cream, except the ice cream is not the same as the ice cream surrounding it, if you say. It's not the same texture. I'm not quite sure what it was. I don't think it's ice cream. It's something else. But it's very, very similar to ice cream. Anyone know what that is? It's very strange and mysterious. If you're new to the show, welcome along, boys and girls. You can contact me by either sending a text, top left-hand corner, 07451 287 337, or you can send an email if you want to, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is the two ways you can talk to me. If you're in a chat box trying to send me a message in there, I'm afraid I'm not in the chat box. A couple of them in there, if they see people, I think it's Rachel and... I think it was Fran. Is it Fran? Rachel and Fran, I think. They'll let anyone know if they're trying to send me a message, or indeed anyone else, okay? If you see someone trying to send me a message and they're getting a bit irate because I'm not answering, well, it's because I can't see it. They've got to send a text, please, or an email. Talking about shopping in Aldi a moment ago, I have discovered these. Anyone had these? Meat-free hot dogs. These are absolutely delicious. You know, you will have trouble... finding any difference between these and a normal hot dog, except there's no dead animals in this one. Oh, listen to the alpha males. Oh, no, I want my meat, mate. No, I have my meat. Oh, please do us a favour, boys. Give it a rest, will you? No, you're not actually good at anything. You're really not. Anyway, the plant menu. These are from Aldi. And it says in here, soya, as usual, you know, soya protein, onion, carrot, vegetable suet, palm oil, wheat flour. What the hell's that? Meta bisulfate, God knows what that is. Mace, smoked paprika. That's what, I knew there was a flavour in there. Smoked paprika. I mean, and other bits and pieces in there. But more importantly, no dead animals. I can't remember what I paid for these. Because there was something in Aldi the other day. And it was over £2, which... I know what it was. Halloumi burgers. The halloumi burgers in Aldi are kind of dearer than you would... They're not dear in the grand scheme of things. You know, if you order a halloumi burger from a restaurant, it's quite an expensive item. In Aldi, over £2 for two burgers came across as expensive for me because it's an Aldi. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't mind if it was Waitrose or something like that. Yeah, so I don't know. But the halloumi burgers are over £2. I can't remember what I paid for those. Usually, anything in this sort of box is about £1.40, £1.30, £1.40. But highly recommended for meat-free hot dogs. And actually, after the show... I'm very excited. After the show tonight, I went over to the Co-op, as I say earlier this morning, and I bought 2 of their tiger rolls. And I've got those... with one each of these in. That's too. It's not having 4, dear. That's just greedy. We're not greedy on this programme, all right? We're not having 4 of those. So I just wanted to show you that there. What's the weather been like where you are? Honestly, endless rain today. Dreadful, dreadful. Did a little bit of weeding. I've got this like bit, you've seen it on various videos that I've done. This bit sort of at the back of the fence where I just put plants. Unfortunately, wild bits of grass is growing there. You know, grass that's, I don't know, jumped from the lawn into there. Very difficult to keep that under control. I mean, literally, you have to walk in it and pull it out by hand. And every time I do it, and then I think I've done it, and a few days later, it's all back again. You try and pull it up for the roots, and then you don't want to damage the other plants in there. Just one of those things, isn't it? Okie doke. I just wanted to let you know, I've discovered that this is back on the telly, or it may have been on there for some time. Now, I know my sister has watched this several times now. I've only watched it once, which is when it was first out. And I'll be honest, it shocked me, because often when I see an old TV programme come back out on the telly, after the first episode, which I've highly enjoyed, this is Merlin. Merlin, it was an excellent, one of the best things that was ever on BBC One on a Saturday night. It walked all over Doctor Who. It was fantastic. It ran for 5 years, and there's 65 episodes of this, and I've discovered it on Netflix. Now, it may well have been on Netflix for some time. I'm not quite sure how my sister was watching it, whether it was on Netflix or one of the other many channels that she's watched. But I saw it came up in my suggestion thing. You get that little suggestion thing come up on the side, didn't you? And there was, I thought, oh, wow. And I said to my mate, I said, do you fancy watching this with me? He said, yeah. Well, have you ever seen this? I said, I've seen a couple of them. I said, watch it with me from the beginning. So he came around yesterday. We watched 2 episodes yesterday. 2 episodes on Friday. No, 2 episodes yesterday afternoon because he wanted to watch 2. And then 1 last night. Now, he wanted to watch another one last night. But I don't like the bulk watching. What's it called? Binge watching. I'm not keen on binge watching. You know, now this is 65 episodes long. That's like 3 or 4 months, if you time it rightly, of great enjoyment, you know? I think when you watch everything in one go, you lose something. You absolutely lose the looking forward. Remember when the TV series were on in the past? You get one a week, you know? And stuff would last months and months, and each week you'd look forward to the next episode. When you're just watching it in one go, I think you miss that. And I don't like doing it. I might watch 2, an absolute maximum 2, so I didn't watch another one last night. And it's so good that your hair stands up on end in bits. And I am, it's enchanting. Absolutely enchanting. The relationship between Merlin, once again, there's the pictures there. That's Merlin and King Arthur there, you see. There we are. Merlin on the left and King Arthur. Their relationship is just wonderful, as it is indeed between Merlin and the old man who looks after him. And of course, the dragon, voiced by the great John Hurt. It's a wonderful, wonderful, magical series that is family entertainment at its best. As I say, it ran for 5 years. A lot of people were mortally disappointed when they cancelled it some years ago now. But can you believe that started in 2008? I know. What is that? 18, 19, 20, 13 years ago that started. And we loved it. My auntie Brenda loves it as well. Unfortunately, she hasn't got internet or Netflix or anything like that. But if you want some great entertainment, each one is about 45 to 50 minutes long. That is now on Netflix. Merlin. Okay, Merlin. Start from the beginning. And I intend to stretch it out. I could make it last probably until September, whether or not I'm sure I will. I'm sure I'll make it last until September. I love it. Love it. So just wanted to mention that this evening. One of the best things ever. Did you used to watch it, by the way? And what did you think of it? What did you think of Merlin? It was replaced by a series called Atlantis, which was, we were a bit dubious about that because we liked Merlin so much. But that was good as well. But the thing is with that, it didn't finish. It didn't finish. It finished on a cliffhanger, and then they cancelled the series. With Merlin, fortunately, they must have told the writers, look, we're going to stop this at this point, and they wrote in an ending. So at least it finished. I know the ending, I'm not going to tell you. Not going to tell you. So it finished. Atlantis never finished. It just stopped. And that's just awful, that is, when they do that. Just awful. Another thing I've discovered on Netflix is a program called Hinterland. I don't think I brought up a photo of that, did I? Hinterland. Now, this is about a Welsh detective, or I think a London detective who moves to Wales. I've just coming towards the first episode of that, because that's quite a long one. I think it's about an hour and a half or something like that. That's really good as well. That program, I think, is about... was it 13? It's about 5 or 6 years old, that one. So Hinterland, beautiful scenery. And in the first episode, they're trying to work out who murdered this old woman. All right, so that's good as well. Also on Netflix is Hinterland. So 2 great things there, Merlin and Hinterland, for you to do when I finish my show. Don't you dare go before I've finished. I'll be mortally offended. Mortally offended. All right. Okay, some of your messages coming in on the show on this Sunday night. My blooming mice won't work properly. Mouse, it jumps from... It seems to jump from thing to thing. It's a weird thing ever. Good evening to Lee Toby. Good evening, Lee. Hope you're well there, Lee. There is Diane Jebb. Evening. John Parrish says, I've just been told our other favourite radio presenter will be off to 2 weeks. Nothing to worry about. Steve says, is that Steve Allen? Oh... He keeps disappearing. He won't tell anyone, will he? He won't tell anyone. I have no idea what's up with him. Really. He's not talking about it. So I've been told from my Auntie Brenda. She's an avid fan. I got her into him. I said, oh, there's this bloke on the radio 4 o'clock in the morning. He's really good. She likes him. I wonder what's wrong with him. Evening to Vera. Hello, Vera. She's tried these as well. They're nice, aren't they, Vera? Meat-free hot dogs. Only just discovered those when I was in the Audi. Was it yesterday or the day before? Can't remember now. Evening to Fran Green. Evening to Fran. Hello to Mike in Brighton. Hello to Mike. He's only here for an hour. Looking hot. Feeling hot, hot, hot. Yeah. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Feeling hot, hot. Except the neck. Look, I've got dinosaur neck. Look. Dinosaur neck. Also, I put a new blade on the razor. Wow, what a difference that made. It don't do that anymore. You know when I come on sometimes with all these cuts, that's because the blade's been on there about 5 years. Put a new blade on the razor just for you, Mike. You know. Thank you. Good evening to Ollie K. Evening to you, Ollie. Hope you're well there. Evening to Mark Jones. He says, not that stupid part. Oh, hang on a minute. Hi, dear. Hope you've had a good week. Just making a nice chicken masala curry. Watching you. Oh, not dead animals, Mark. No dead animals, dear. You mustn't eat dead animals. Poor little things. I was watching a YouTube video just before I come up the stairs. This man who bought up a baboon. No, not a baboon. A gorilla. Is that the same thing? Is it? I don't know. One of those type of creatures, right? From when it was a little cub. What would you call a little baboon or a little gorilla? When it was small. When it was a child. Yeah, when it was a child. And had to release it when it got too big. Anyway, 5 years pass and he decides to go and find it again in the jungles of wherever he was. Might have been Bracknell Forest over there, to be honest. I haven't actually seen any gorillas. Maybe they're hiding from me over there. A lot of people seem to hide from me in bushes for some reason. I don't know why. And he goes out on this boat and he's going along this river, calling out to it. And people have warned him not to do it, right? Because a couple of people have gone out there and been attacked by this gorilla. And he's shouting up, you know, what's its name? Kibi or something like Kibi. And eventually this gorilla appears. And he gets off the boat and they're just all over each other. It's wonderful. Wonderful. Unfortunately, you won't be able to do that, will you? Because you've eaten all the chickens. You know. Poor little chickens. Poor chickens. He says, oh no, not the palm oil, and Paul orangutan is getting killed so he can plant stupid palm oils. Come on, dear. Well, there's no difference to you eating a bloody chicken, is it? Eh? Palm oil in here. Orang-utang's dead. Chicken masala. Chicken's dead. Same thing. Same thing, dear. Same thing, you know. Yes, I agree. There shouldn't be palm oil or anything like that. It's terrible, really, when you watch those sort of things, isn't it? He says, is that it? That's just as bad as eating poor little pigs. Oh, I notice you don't mention chickens, Mark. Poor chickens. Evening to Gary Ross, who says, hello, Uncle Chris. Uncle Chris? Uncle? How old are you? Mind you, my nephew's 37, isn't he? I suppose. Could be. How old? I'm not quite sure how old you are there. Evening to the delightful, otherwise known as mother to certain members of the game community, Richard Morris. Good evening, Richard. Hope you're well, Richard. Who says, I've got the full Merlin DVD box set. Doesn't surprise me, my darling. Doesn't surprise me. Quite disgusting that you've never bought it, considering you love the series. We've got to make cutbacks, Richard. There's no cash coming in. There's no cash. It's all going out. It's all going out. There's no profit. No profit being made here at all. No profit whatsoever, dear. It's terrible, really. Thank you, Richard. I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, wonderful programme. Evening to the delightful Mark Bowles. Let's have a quick look at Mark. There he is. Evening, Mark. He's been to darts and he's had a few drinks. Oh, he'll be easy then. Oh, sorry, did I really say that? Oh, God. Can't believe I said that. Yeah, that's what you want before you come over and meet me, Mark. A few drinks and, you know, you'll be straight here. Straight here, wouldn't you? And he's saying something about my mattress, which I cannot read out. Excuse me, and not a cheap mattress next door, Mark Bowles. That bed was £2,000, that was. Yes, most comfortable bed at work. No, it's not. The most comfortable bed... Actually, no, that wasn't two. That was on special offer. I think it was about 1.5, 1.8, that was, some years ago now. Okay, the most comfortable bed I have ever laid on was in John Lewis. Oh my God, it was like £3,500. Oh, and it told you what was in it, like lamb's wool, all these different layers of stuff. You know, you wouldn't dare wet the bed in that. You know. If you wet the bed in a £3,500, mattress, you wouldn't sleep for weeks, would you? I mean, I certainly would. I mean, you can wet my bed if you want to, Mark. I just don't want me. I'll just buy another one. Yeah, well, actually, I probably wouldn't. I just like... Sorry, we're getting very perfect now. Let's move on. Andy, good evening to you. Evening, Andy. Hi, Chris. Another new fantasy series on Netflix called Sweet Tooth. Finished it. Oh, I've mentioned that a few times, Andy. It's lovely. Again, a lovely programme. Is it for children, that one? Well, there's a couple of bits where someone gets shot. Now, obviously, I don't have little people round me. I don't know what you think, really. But that's all it is. There's no bonking or anything like that. So that's not bad. Sweet Tooth, again on Netflix. It's about these, a virus comes, kills loads of people, but also come animal-child hybrids. And some of them got horns. The main character is Sweet Tooth, and he's like a human deer hybrid. And there's a little pig deer. And there's, what's the little furry thing with the big eyes? We just finished watching that last week. So that's good as well on Netflix. Thank you, Andy. Sweet Tooth, he says, I've watched one and I'm hooked. Merlin was a fantastic TV series. It really was, wasn't it, eh? Evening to Weird City. Just checking in today. Hello to you. Sherry says, good evening, Chris and all your viewers. It's Sunday once again. We're selling 82 12-inch vinyls on Marketplace. So if anyone's interested, let us know. Enjoy the rest of your week. Anyone want to buy vinyls? Vinyl records? 12-inch singles? Eh? Send us a message. We'll get some more information for you. And good evening to Jason Hughes as well, joining us on this Sunday night. Evening to you, Jason. Thanks very much, by the way, to Matt. Where's his name gone? Mike. Thanks so much to Mike in Brighton for pointing out that the new subscribe button, which is on that side of the screen, I think. Not everyone can see it for some reason. That side of the screen there. Not everyone can see that for some reason, but there is a subscribe button there now, which is kind of on there. Comes on about 3 minutes after the show starts. and just remains on there all the time. It's only small. You can see it there. It's a much easier way to subscribe to the show now. You just click on that button if you can see it. It's definitely on there for everyone once the show goes up as a recording. But for some reason, not everyone while we're live. But it is there. But he pointed out that when I put the phone number up, it obscures. The subscribe button obscures the phone number. So we've moved that now to the middle. There we are. And we've got a different font as well there as well, okay? So that's the phone number. Which we'll open a little bit lower. You can open it now if you want. There's phone numbers open now if you want to call in. All right, my darlings. So either call in or send an email. And thanks very much to Mike for pointing it out. I can just see this chat box. Hang on, let me just close that down. Why can I see that? That's oh, there we are. It's gone now. Thank you very much. Lee Toby's there. Merlin was a good show. Saw all but the last series. Oh, you didn't see the last series? Oh, godly. You got Netflix, haven't you? Watch it. It's on Netflix. Please watch it. You don't know what you're missing. It's great. You don't see many younger unknown actors on the BBC like that these days. Well, of course, Merlin played by Colin Morgan, who, funnily enough, Richard Morris, who's with us today, and I didn't know, Colin Morgan is Northern Irish. And in normal life, he has a really thick Irish accent, which for some reason he discarded for the show. No, not for some reason, but somehow, because that would have been what was the requirement of the acting, you see. You need to be able to speak English. How he managed to do that, I don't know. I mean, I can try and do an accent now and again, but it's not very good. You wouldn't have had a clue that he was actually Northern Irish, would you? Amazing, really. And of course, he's gone on to do other things. You would have seen him in Humans. He's a great actor. Great actor. He really is. Colin Morgan on there. Thank you, Lee. John says, I never eaten a monkey burger. Oh, you haven't, have you? Oh, how awful. Evening to Paul. Good evening, Paul. There's Paul. I'm meeting up with Paul tomorrow night. Looking forward to meeting up with him in Rotherhithe. Paul says, I thought Merlin was great. Victor Meldrew was fabulous in that. Yeah, he was, wasn't he? What's his name, Victor Meldrew? I can't remember his name. Can't think of his real name. It's gone right out of my head. Well, don't worry about that, Paul. I struggle for words now. Funnily enough, I was having this conversation with my mate earlier on the phone. I seem to struggle for words. I can be, rolling, and then suddenly there will be a word that just doesn't come to me. Very strange and mysterious, isn't it? Well, here's something. Maybe I'm daydreaming. Did you see how I did the link then? Maybe I'm daydreaming. Now, do you daydream much? There's a story in The Sun today which says parts of the brain really do switch off when you're daydreaming or have a mind blank, boffins reveal. So maybe, I don't know, maybe my brain switches off. And then, or takes a little break, and then I can't find the word that I'm looking for. Does your brain ever switch off? Do you ever have that problem? Phone line's open now if you want to call in. 0208 144 3477 is my local London number. It says the study of people doing boring tasks showed it was possible for bits of the brain to go to sleep independently of each other. This professor said his team noticed different parts of the brain emitting slow waves. Shall we do slow waves? Slow waves. Forget it. While the person was still awake, indicating that they had actually gone to sleep. I mean, a lot of people do tend to drift off while this show's on for some reason. I think that's why the numbers are so low. People just drift off while the show's on. He said slow waves in frontal brain areas preceding daydreaming and impulsive behaviour. Are you in impulsive behaviour? Do you do that? Do you do impulsive buying? I don't. I don't. I bet John Parrish don't do that. Christ, have you tried to separate him from his money? John Parrish? Jesus, he won't be doing any impulsive buying. And I'm the same, actually. I need a reason to buy something. For example, I needed a reason to buy these. And the reason is they are delicious. I do. I need a reason to buy something. mean, this here, like that, microphone. The reason to buy that is because it's very high quality, and I know it will last for years. I've told you this now. This is now about 12 to 15 years old, I think it is, this one. You know, you get what you pay for, don't you? I don't go into a shop and browse very, very rarely. Well, let's just go for a look in here. Great niece Evie, she's only 9 now, you know, so when she's got money in her hand, she has to go into a shop and spend it on something. She has not a clue what she wants. When we was in Mablethorpe, bless her, it's just been her birthday, and her mum gave her some money, and every time we went past a shop, she needed to go in to see what she could buy. I'm very good at that, not buying stuff. I mean, that being said, I've had, you know, as you know, I've had some massive bills since January, which, touch wood, I haven't had another one recently. Not very recently. That being said, I haven't managed to get back up there. Do you see what I mean? So January, you know, like that, right? Okay. January, February, March, April, May, June. So I haven't got the savings back up there. If they haven't gone up at all. And I'm trying so hard to get those back up to a level where I feel, okay, you know, you can go and spend a little bit more. I'm really good at not spending money. Browsing. And people that go in the pound shop, you know, you think you're having a good time. Oh, let's just go and have a look in the pound shop. You didn't actually go out to buy anything, did you? So you go in the pound shop, oh, well, it's only £1 each. But that's £1 that you weren't going to spend. And I very much doubt you go in there and spend £1. Was it more like a fiver, a tenner? How many times do you do that in a week? And you end up with a cupboard full of crap. Didn't you? Little bits of plastic and stuff that you don't want. I think there's some stuff in the pound shop that actually is dearer in the pound shop than it is in the supermarket. But you say, oh, it's £1. I love that. Then you go in Sainsbury's and see their own brand washing up liquid for like 85 pence. Oh, whatever. Anyway, back to this story here. The study of people doing boring tasks showed it was possible for bits of the brain to go to sleep independently of each other. Look at this. He said the team noticed different parts of the brain emitting slow waves. They've gone to sleep, dear. So do you daydream? Do you daydream at all? A study monitored the brain waves of adults while they focused on images of faces or numbers, and pressed a button in response to facial expressions or digits. Now, what facial expression do you want me to do so that you will press a button? How about this one? Or this one? Or this one? Or this one? Where is it with lads now who have their pictures taken and the TikTok boys? When they're like, always got the tongues out now. We never used to put our tongues out when we had photos taken, did we? Do you do that, Mark Jones? What's that? I mean, is that a sexy look, is it? Who wants to see someone's tongue? I don't understand it. Mark, could you send me a photo of yourself like that and we'll see how that looks? Huh? So I don't know if you daydream or not. Vectis, good evening, Vectis. Did I say hello to Shania? Shania, she was on the radio earlier. Good evening, Shania. Vectis is there. It's Daddy. Daddy Vectis is in the house. Hello, Vectis, who says, I feel a meat-free hot dog scandal coming. Don't you believe those ingredients? If they taste like normal hot dogs, it's probably because there's loads of dead animals in there and they're not telling you. £2 for 2 burgers. How dear is that, dear? How dear is that, dear? Well, they're the halloumi ones. They're the cheese ones. And actually, halloumi is a rather expensive cheese, depending on when you buy it from, of course. Again, they do the halloumi cheese in Aldi. It's very nice. Very nice. When I have a halloumi burger and chips, I had the... Where's it actually? Receipt here somewhere, wasn't it? I think I put it in the bin, ready for the bin. Oh, it might be here. Is this the receipt? Just a moment. This might be the receipt. No, this is not a receipt either. A halloumi burger and chips the other day, and it's like £8. It's dear. From Churchill's chips. I mean, it was a large chips. No point in having small chips, is there? Might as well have a large one. Are you going to go... Have you got an Aldi on the Isle of Wight? I can't remember now. Are you going to have those, Vectis? Nice meat-free hot dogs. No dead animals, dear. Wonderful. Good evening to Caleb and Sophie this evening. Good evening to you two. Are you going to try these? I should be sponsored by Audi, don't you think? Must get a sponsorship on the show somehow. Dumped outside the hotel. What about this story here today? Poor pensioners. This could happen to you. When you go on your little holiday, on your little Ryanair flight, £10 sitting there, feet up someone's arse in front of you. How uncomfortable is that? But these poor pensioners were dumped outside a hotel. Awful. William Ferguson and his wife Marina, who are both 71 years old. Is that younger than you, John Parrish, 71? Is that younger or the same as you, dear? Do let us know. They were left worried and feared they would have to sleep in the street. In Majorca, after finding their hotel was closed, they couldn't contact the trip organiser. Well, that nearly happened to me, actually, one Christmas Eve. I'd booked in, before I had the caravan, I'd booked into Haven Holidays. No, not Haven Holidays. Tattershall Lakes. Where Mark's actually been to Tattershall Lakes, haven't you? Tattershall Lakes caravan place, which is in Tattershall in Lincolnshire. Actually, not far from where my caravan is. And booking was after 2 o'clock, right? So I got there about 2:30. It was all closed up. The offices were all closed up, and I just happened to be walking, and I saw a security. I said, "Excuse me, mate. I've come to collect my keys. I'm staying here for a few days. It's on Christmas Eve, so Christmas Day, you see." He said, "Oh, they're all closed now. I'll get your keys." Good job I bumped into him. There was no sign on the door or anything, you see. How are you supposed to know? No one told me. No phone call. "Hello, where are you?" Nothing. Well, it's worse for these two. An elderly Scottish couple said they were dumped outside a closed Spanish hotel on a trip organised by Teletext Holidays. Has anyone ever booked on those Teletext Holidays? Apparently it's a great way of saving money. Have we still got Teletext? I don't use that anymore. I remember old CFAX and Oracle, didn't you? Before we had all the channels that we've got now. That worked quite well, didn't it? I was always on there looking at the news and that. The old BBC text thing, I think they've still got a version of that, but it's nowhere near as good as it used to be. There was just loads of stuff on there. And you'd have to wait. You'd have to wait sometimes, wouldn't you, for the page to come round. I remember them telling us how that worked. I think it might have been on a Blue Peter or something like that. And basically, so if you had 1,000 pages and you typed in, like, say, 600, page 600, the broadcaster used to throw these pages out in rotation. Okay? And your TV would pick it up when it came round. So if you typed in 600 and they were sending out 601, you'd have to wait for it to come right the way round to 600 and then it would appear on your screen. I'm sure that's how it worked. That's all gone now, of course, isn't it? But according to this, we've still got Teletext Holidays somewhere. They say it was thanks to locals that we didn't spend the night in the street. This poor couple had booked an £1,800 sunshine break to Cala d'Or in Majorca. Anyone been to Majorca? I haven't been there. Anyone been there? I've been to Ibiza. Ibiza. Yes. We did the rave holiday. We did it. It was fantastic. Ibiza. Saragasama, I think it was. Had walks during the daytime. Drunk at night. It was wonderful. They booked the £1,800 sunshine break to Cala d'Or in Majorca through Teletext Holidays, but claimed they couldn't contact them when they needed help. Well, you get what you pay for, don't you? I always book a package holiday if I can. Always. I used to just walk into Thomas Cook, which then became Hayes Travel. I bet they wish they never bought Thomas Cook now, to be honest. Because they bought Thomas Cook, they're trying to build it up, and bang, coronavirus. Really done. I mean, we haven't got a travel. The Hayes travel agent in Bracknell was disappeared now as well, and that had only been opened a couple of weeks. I think we've still got TUI. Stupid name for holiday, TUI. Thompson's. Who named it TUI? What a stupid name. Horrible colours. don't appeal to me at all. Anyway, this couple from the Orkney finally jetted off on Monday for their short stay after it had been postponed for 2 years due to the pandemic. But they were horrified to discover Gavimar La Miranda Club Resort had been closed until the end of July. Marina frantically tried to contact the travel company to find out what had happened, but struggled to get through to the customer services team. I mean, it's frightening, isn't it? Especially if you're in a country that don't talk English. You know, I mean, probably Majorca would have been all right. You imagine being dropped somewhere like in China, like in a little village in China. Presumably you can get hotels in little villages in China, I don't know. Kind-hearted locals took pity on the distressed duo and helped them find alternative accommodation for the night after the holiday firm failed to take their calls. William said, "We came all the way from Orkney and we've been on the go for nearly 48 hours with a 6-hour break in Edinburgh on the way. I just think it's disgusting what they've done. They basically dumped us outside a hotel that had been closed for a month. Awful. This is teletext holidays." We're 71 and we're not great with mobile phones and computers either. It's been a complete and utter nightmare. Well, just imagine this happening to my auntie. She wouldn't have a clue what to do. Not a clue. Not a clue. If it wasn't for the Spanish people over here who have been really helpful, we would have really been stuck. We walked off the bus and the guy jumped back in and drove off. That's when we realised the place was shut. We didn't know what to do. I mean, surely the bloke who dropped on the bus must have known the damn hotel was closed. How could you just leave him like that? All our booking stuff was in our bags and we didn't know how to do the UK dialing code on the mobile phone. The girl across the road in the pub took us a cup of coffee and she knew someone that worked at the same hotel group. We tried to get through to teletext, but they wouldn't answer us. You were on the phone for hours trying to get it sorted. And probably you had paid a small fortune for that as well. If it wasn't for those helpful folk, we'd be sleeping in the streets. What an awful thing to happen. Isn't it? Has that ever happened to any of you? Got to a hotel, perhaps was closed, or maybe just partially built? We always hear those stories as well on the telly, don't we? You know, you get there and pictures of this hotel and you get there, swimming pool's closed and it's been rebuilt or something like that. Noise outside. Drills outside. Not as bad as the bloke. Some bloke over there is always cutting up things with those round things, like he's cutting up bits of concrete or something. I hate that noise. I really do. Awful. The breakers all retired William and his wife originally forked out £1,400 for the package holiday, but were forced to stump up another £400 after their flights were cancelled. How does that happen? Oh, I see. Yeah. Now you see, right. This is the problem with booking bits of a holiday yourself. Okay, so if you book the hotel there, the car there, and the plane there, if one of those things go wrong, it's up to you to sort it out, and it's going to cost you money. So, for example, if your holiday ends on the 21st, and your flight is for the 21st, and that's cancelled, you then have to find another flight. I'm sure you'll get the money back from that flight, or you'll be rescheduled on another flight, right? Okay? So say the next flight is the 22nd or longer, the 23rd. It's up to you then to find another hotel if that one won't take you for 2 more nights. And you've got to pay for that. This is the problem with booking bits of your holiday yourself. Now, this would have happened to my sister. Now, she's going to Cyprus because my niece is over there at the moment until the end of the year. And then it's 3 years is up. They've been there for 3 years in Cyprus. How quickly has that bleeding gone? God. I wanted to go out there twice a year, as I've only been able to go out there twice and the damn pandemic stopped me going. Anyway, her flight has already been cancelled twice. Now, obviously, she's going to see my niece, so she'll be staying with her, right? But had it been a hotel, so she would have booked that flight and booked the hotel, right? Now, the hotel may well have said to her, oh, that's okay, we'll move the bookings. But they don't have to. Don't have to. So she would have booked the flight, that's cancelled, booked the hotel, can't get to the hotel and still had to pay for it. That's what would have happened. With a package holiday, not Thomas Cook anymore, who is it now? Hayes or Tui. If something goes wrong, it's up to them to sort it out. So, If your flight is cancelled, doesn't matter. They will then pay for a hotel for you to stay there at that hotel another day, another 2 days, another week, whatever it is. Okay? Ready for the next flight. It's down to them to do it. If you book these holidays in separate bits, yes, you will probably save a bit of money, but it's not worth it. I don't think it's worth it. I've never really had a problem. Yes, I have. I've had a couple of times where the plane's been delayed and I was told to stay in a hotel, and that's all sorted for me, you see. All done. All done. All done. It's terrible, isn't it, eh? William explained we were meant to be going home on Thursday, but because our original flights were cancelled, we had to stay another 2 nights. Teletexter said they won't pay for the hotel for those, though. You see? That's down to them. It's cost them another 400 quid. Not a small amount of money, is it? Gosh. Well, I hope that never happens to any of you, my darlings. Stephen Petty, good evening, Stephen. Stephen and Emily, Will and Alison are watching the show tonight. Hello to you lot. All right, my darlings. Mike says, is that a Versace jacket? Of course it is, darling. £1,200 this was, my love. Do you like it? Absolute bargain. It's a steal. A steal. Tax deductible item. Need it for the job. Versace jacket. Are you for real? I haven't got any Versace here. None of that Louis Vuitton here, mate. You're having a laugh. This was 20 quid from Trina. I got 2 of these, this one and the yellow one. I'm surprised you haven't seen this. Would you like a better look? There you go. Have a better look. Let's take that off. Eh? It works, doesn't it? Thank you, Mike. Vera says that happened to me and my mates. We went to Spain. The coach dropped us off a mile away from the hotel, and it was just after midnight. Yes, I've got to hotels late at night. I don't like that. Do you? I really don't like getting to a hotel at like 10 o'clock at night. In fact, I think when we went to Ibiza, it was something like that. That was me and my mate Lewis. He was actually a lodger here. Gosh, 1996, 97, something like that it was. Yeah, it was a good holiday. Good holiday it was. Had a really nice time. Yeah. And that we got to that hotel pretty late. Going to Australia, if you go to Australia, you tend to get there about 6:30 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning. So that's quite nice as well. I prefer to get there sort of morning, early afternoon sort of time. I would like to go to Cyprus once again, one more time before they have to come back. I really enjoyed it there. I had a lovely time. I mean, it's more of a just meeting up with my niece rather than doing exploring or anything like that. But that's all I want, really. Vera says the coach dropped us off a mile away from the hotel, and it was just after midnight. Oh, how frightening, Vera. Especially like for 2 girls. Was it a girl? I don't know. My mate and myself had wheels on our cases, but our mate had to carry his case. Halfway, he lost the plot and kicked it down the road. Wow. I understand. I understand. Like the old couple, there was no one around, but we found someone who told us that we had to go back. It wasn't a hotel where we were staying. It was a block of flats. Gosh. What was the outcome to that, Vera? I mean, what happened in the end? How awful when a holiday goes wrong. I'm trying to think if a holiday has ever gone wrong. I was on a cruise boat once, and that was going to Mexico. This is a long, long time ago now, and okay, so we were getting on with our holiday, and we would leave our money foolishly in the room, and I said to my mate, well, where do you leave yours? He said, I put mine in a sock and then put it in the case. They're not going to go through a case through all the socks. Right? Wow. Anyway, one day we had to report there was something wrong with the shower. Okay, fair enough. And we went out, and then when we got back, the door was open to the room. Wide open. Oh, look, the door's open. I was probably doing the shower. Well, there was no one in there. No one doing the shower. We went in there, And for some reason, my mate, he went straight to his bed, to his case, pulled out his case, and he said, "My money's gone." I said, "You're joking?" He said, "No, it's not here." He said, "I've looked in all my socks, all my money's gone." And then I pulled out my case under my bed. My money was gone as well. We lost all our money. Cash. You know. It was terrible, terrible. I can't remember what we did. I don't remember what we did. I don't think we lost every penny. We had some money on us. But obviously not the amount of money that was left in the case. We were there for 2 weeks and this money went within a couple of days. Nothing we could do. Nothing we could do. It was gone. Terrible. So that's probably my worst holiday disaster. I don't think I've really ever gone anywhere that I regretted going, if you see what I mean, to see another place or whatever. My most interesting holiday, I think, has got to be Israel, because it had all that religious stuff in it, which I've spoken about many, many times before, haven't I? That was a really interesting holiday. You would love Israel, Vera. You'd love it. Seeing all these places, you know, whether or not you believe it, this is where this is supposed to have happened. I walked in the sea where Jesus is supposed to be baptized, not the river. You can go down there. And of course, there's the other stuff like the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea. Funnily enough, talking about the Dead Sea, there's a place round here, like a spa place, you know. Apparently, they have a Dead Sea pool. Yeah, Nirvana. It sounds quite an expensive place. Nirvana, it's called. Nirvana. And they've got a Dead Sea pool in there, apparently, where you can just lay in there, take your legs up, and you don't fall down. It's the weirdest thing ever in the Dead Sea. You walk in there, and you can just lay there. But then it's really difficult to get back up again. You just can't get your legs back on the floor. I don't know. John says, "Don't talk about impulsive buying, dear. I went to Spain." There's lots of Spain stories here, isn't there? I went to Spain to visit my parents and came home owning a villa in Denia. First time ever we visit. It's the first time I ever visited. It went over there and bought a villa. No intention of even buying one. Talking of that sort of thing, my window cleaner, he's retired now. He's the same age as me. He used to go to Trade nightclub, which you'll know, Vera, Trade. At Turbills, that's gone now, isn't it? And he cleans windows, and he retired. It's about a year ago now, and he sold his house around here for about 300, and he bought a villa in Spain with a pool. You know the typical villa, largest pool, and all that business, and about 100 grand left over. It's nice, but of course he's got a wife, you know, so it's a bit different if you're on your own, you know. Bit more difficult to do stuff like that. You know, you tend to stay in sort of surroundings where you're quite comfortable. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's the story there. Dumped outside the hotel. I do feel sorry for him. And it's funny you should mention housing there, John. Have you still got the villa, by the way? Have you still got that? You know, I'll tell you what appeals to me, John, and don't know if it would appeal to you, or maybe you've even done this, is that a lot of pensioners, they disappear to places like Spain for the whole of the winter. When I say the whole of the winter, 3 months, 2 or 3 months. The coldest bit, which is, a lot of people think that's November, December. It's not. It's like January, February, March, isn't it? That's when it's at its coldest here, January, February, March. Not really December, although it's cold then. And they literally go to Spain because that's not peak season. Not many people are booking these hotel rooms, and they get really good deals. You know, like they go for a month for like, I don't know, 500 quid, £100 a week, something like that, with the breakfast thrown in as well. Has anyone done that? Have you done that at all, John? I don't think you've done that, John, because you've got a few places, haven't you? So you wouldn't need to do that. But that's what they do. Long stay holidays or something like that. I think Saga have got those mentioned or something like that, haven't they? Saga. I had a nice little surprise that my BT pension. I thought I'd look at that. My BT pension. Well, it's to pay out when I'm 60, year and a half. That's all right, isn't it? Hey, it's only a small amount, like something like £250 a month, something like that. But that's £250 a month that I'm not getting out, so that'd be good, wouldn't it? And Oh, hang on a minute. Vera here. We had to pay a deposit for the key, then a mile back. Gosh, we didn't know how to work the lift. On some of the floors, they had no lights, so we walked in the dark. We didn't get our deposit back on the day because they were closed on the Sunday, and we were flying back that day. We got our money back 2 weeks later, never again. So she's had a very bad experience in Spain there. Do you think it was just unlucky, Vera? Can I ask how you booked that holiday? Did you go to a travel agent? Or was it like a teletext thing or a thing on the internet at all? Do let us know. Perhaps you've had an experience. You can call in if you want to. 0208 144 3477. Don't worry about talking on the phone. If you think you're going to dry up, you won't. Because I'll drag it out of you. All right? 0208 144 3477. Mike in Brighton. Now, he's worked in hotels a lot. And he says, never ever trust hotel room safes. They all have a default failure unlock number. Most can be Googled by the safe name or model. A bit like the unlock code for LG TVs is 7777. What do you mean the unlock code for LG TVs? What does that do then? When would I put an unlock code in for an LG TV? I'm just trying to think why I would need that. He says, if you want peace of mind, always leave valuables with the hotel reception and get a receipt. That's kind of makes sense to me, yeah. I've always been a bit iffy with those hotel safes. Generally, I've got one of those money belt things I put on, but... I mean, you could just as easily lose money out of your pocket. I mean, I haven't really lost... I don't think I've ever lost a wallet. I think I might have lost keys before. I haven't lost a wallet before. I've lost cash out of my pocket. It literally just falls out, doesn't it? Like a £5 or a £10 or something like that. Of course, if it's very hot somewhere, you haven't got many clothes on, have you? So you haven't sort of limited to put these things. I've got a little bag, little Adidas. Is it a super dry little plastic bag that I put over my shoulder when I go litter picking now and all that business. And of course, for hand gel and asthma things and the mobile phone, and I just put that over my shoulder now. Of course, even then, in certain places like Rome and that, you've heard these stories, probably not just Rome, where people on bikes just simply come along with a sharp knife and cut the bag off of your bleeding shoulder and drag it off you. Nothing's safe, is it? Really? And then someone would say to you, well, put the bag underneath your clothes. I mean, to have a bag next to your skin when the sun out there is like 30 degrees is not a pleasant experience, is it, really? We've got a call coming in from 255. Hello, who's on the line, please?
Hi, it's Soph.
Hello, Sophie. How are you? Oh, Caleb and Soph, isn't it? Hello, darling.
Yeah.
You all right?
You all right?
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you very much. Is it the holidays you want to talk about?
Yeah, you can do.
Go on. What sort of holidays? Have you had any disasters like that on a holiday at all? Or perhaps somewhere you've been and you thought, I wish I hadn't come here?
We actually, me and Caleb went to book to go to Disneyland, and when we got over to Florida, we couldn't find any of our bags at all.
Oh, no. Who did you go with? Virgin? They're sort of the main people there.
I'm sure it was, is it Trivago?
Trivago. Oh, I've heard of them, yeah, Trivago.
Yeah.
So when you're booking with Trivago, do you have to book everything yourself? Like, is it separate, like the hotel room, the flights, or was it a package of everything?
No, we did it. We had to do it separately.
Right, okay. Wow. Just imagine not having your bag, and they never turned up?
No, we didn't get them back, so we literally had to go and buy like new clothes while we was over there.
Wow. How long ago was that, Soph?
About 2 years ago now.
Okay. I asked that question because many years ago, stuff in America was a hell of a lot cheaper than it was here. It's not really the case these days, it kind of evened up over the years. But I remember the first time I went to America was New York with the Scouts and all that, 1979. Stuff was so cheap, Sophie. And people would just go out there and buy suitcases full of Levi's jeans, for like, 20 quid, and where they were like 50 or 60 quid here. It was very, very different there. Blimey. Just imagine not having all your own clothes, though. Where did you stay? Were you on International Drive? Or don't you know?
No, I don't know. We was going to get a hotel on the Disneyland park,
Oh,
but the price was like £300 and something pound a night.
that's right. That's right. The hotels on the actual Disney park are always much dearer. I mean that castle hotel is really, really expensive. I don't know how anyone can afford to stay there. So, did you stay? You must have stayed in a hotel outside the resort. Do you remember whereabouts it was?
It was about. I'm sure it was about 10-15 minutes of walk from the park.
Oh,
It wasn't far away, but it wasn't actually on the park, if that makes sense.
yeah. So was it like a little shuttle bus that you used to get to the Disney parks?
Yeah.
Okay.
We paid through it through the Disneyland app.
Right.
We paid for the travel to get from our hotel to the park as well.
Yeah, very sensible. I mean, when I've been very lucky. I've been over there a few times. I have had a car before, but I'm very unhappy driving in foreign countries. To be honest, there's all sorts of things that you could do wrong. And the last time I went with my nephew. It was about 5 years ago now, and I decided not to get a car. I thought, well, I knew there was a shuttle bus that went to the hotel. And I thought, well, if we don't get the shuttle bus, we'll just get cabs. It can't be that expensive. And it wasn't. Most of the days we got little buses to these places. Or there was even a bus that went up and down this long road, International Drive. It was something silly like $1 to get on the bus. It was dirt cheap. How long did you go for, Soph?
A week.
And did you... Oh, just a week? Oh, okay. And did you enjoy it? Was it good?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
What was your
Caleb was walking around as if I was like a kid with every time I seen the shopping.
Isn't it fantastic? And when you go down Main Street, that's the one with the castle, Main Street. The castle's at the other end, yeah? And you get all those smells of the food and all that, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just I love it. I love it.
It's like you go into a normal food shop and it's you don't find a smell like that.
No, you don't.
Compared to there.
You don't. I don't think it's the food smelling, to be honest. I think it's something that they're pumping out of the air condition. But it doesn't matter, just because it's just nice. And you're a child and you watch all these little children full of excitement. What was your favourite ride on there?
I didn't really go on any rides. I only went to all the shops because I'm not really a ride person.
Oh, okay. Well, did you see any of the little shows that go around, like the parades and all that?
I'm sure there was one. They had all the Mickey friends and all that.
Right. Did Caleb go on any of the rides? Caleb?
No.
No, didn't go on any of the rides? Oh, wow. I mean, they're not all roller coasters, I won't go on the roller coasters. I hate them. Absolutely hate them. I go on all the little kiddie rides. It's all very sad, really. It's a small world. That's the one I like. All right, Soph. Well, I'm sorry you never got your clothes back. Did you get some money for that or what?
No.
Wow, nothing.
It was just they said they emailed us back and they said the bottom line was it wasn't their problem. It wasn't out to do with their services.
Wow. And who was the airline?
I know it was red and white.
Oh, that's Virgin Airlines. You couldn't get anything from them?
No, I'm sure. I'm sure it was them.
Did you contact them at all, or did you just contact the Travago?
Just Travago.
I would have gone to Virgin. Red and white is Virgin, I think. Or it might be TWA doesn't exist anymore, does it? Yeah, I would have gone to it. It's too late now to do anything about it. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Sophie. But at least you had a nice time while you were there, my love.
Yeah, Caleb said he likes your jacket.
Oh, thanks very much. It was only about 20 quid. One of my friends bought me this, Clarissa. I actually ordered this, and they sent completely the wrong one. They sent me the one with little leaves, look like ganja leaves, which I've got in the... They do! Which I've got in my cupboard. But I mentioned it on the show, and to be fair, the company refunded me, but then she went and ordered me what I'd ordered, and they got to her okay. So I don't know quite what went wrong there, but there we are. Glad you like the jacket then. All right. Good night, you two. Thanks for ringing in. I appreciate that.
All right, see you later.
Cheerio, my love. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There we are, lovely Sophie. Oh, wrong button there. Hang on a minute. What am I doing there? Lovely Sophie and her boyfriend there. Here we go. The unlock code on TVs. Mike says some guests lock the TV or change the language. It's a bitch to resolve. Easiest way is to reset the TV. Oh, okay. So you're talking about hotel TVs, are you? Okay. I was wondering if I needed something like that, on my TV. When would I need an unlock code on my TV? But I wouldn't want to. Sherry, when I was in Milan and paying for my train ticket, someone grabbed my change. I was furious. I was tempted to go after her and hit her with my heavy bag, but my aunt stopped me. Terrible. Terrible, some of these stories. You can find lots of these scam things going on YouTube, actually. There was a bloke. I think it was Italy, somewhere in Italy. It might have been Italy. I can't remember. It was a foreign country, okay? And the scam there is little cards, right? And so you'll be driving along, you'll be walking along and a car will stop. And excuse me, can you help me? And they give you a card and it says, director of whatever, okay? It's, I'm really sorry to help you. I'm a very important person. I need some fuel and I've run out of money. Is there any chance you could help me and I'll pay you back? Seriously. I mean, you must be a mug to fall for something like that. I'm sorry. But people do. People do fall for these scams. Don't they? And anyway, this bloke would challenge them. He would go out specifically looking for these people and walk close to the road and home. And people would stop and do this to him. And then he would challenge them. Well, he was attacked a few times by these people in cars. In one case, he went to the police who didn't really seem to be that bothered. I think it was in Italy. I'm not sure now. And what's the other scam? Watch out for. Oh yeah, definitely in Rome. These old women with wobbly sticks, right? It'd be the middle of summer, 90-degree heat, 30 degrees centigrade, and you'll be around the Vatican area, and there'll be an old woman, some of them laying in the road, literally, with a wobbly stick like this. You come back later and watch them walking back to their cars. Nothing wrong with them. Probably not even old. There's a lot of scams. There was another one. Oh, yes, we see in the paper sometimes, I mean, again, mugs. Mugs. Going to buy an ice cream, yeah, that'd be €50, please. Why would you pay for it? Just give it back? Outrageous. I don't understand how people can get in that sort of trouble sometimes. We've seen that in the paper some years ago. That was actually just before we went to Rome, me and my mate, some years ago now. And I ordered an ice cream and I said, I'm going to check the price first because I've seen this story about a €50 ice cream. And it was like something like €3, €4 maybe, something like that. You expect to pay a little bit more as a tourist, of course, but not €50. I mean, if someone said, yeah, there you go, that's €50, please. I don't think so. I don't think so. You just wouldn't do it, would you? George is on the line. Good evening, George.
Good evening, Chris.
All right, my dear. How are you today?
Fine.
Have you got any holiday disasters for me, George?
Only the holiday I go to.
And where is this?
Skegness.
Skegness, yes. What's the name of the place?
Sycamore Farm.
Sycamore Farm. Now, what is that? Tell us what it is.
It's basically, it used to be a farm.
Right.
As it's called Sycamore Farm. And it's near, well, it's not near Fancy Island, but it's basically a bit further down than Fancy Island.
So what is it, caravans?
Yes, static caravans.
Okay.
You can rent them out. I can't remember how much it is now.
Right.
But you can rent them out for up to whatever day you want for.
Yeah.
We usually go for 2 weeks.
Okay, 2 weeks at a time. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And we usually go in August.
Yes.
And it's a caravan site, and you walk outside, and your fishing peg is right outside your caravan.
What's the fishing peg? What's that?
It's basically a fishing peg is basically where you can fish.
What is it? A stool or something? I don't know what a fishing peg is. You see?
A fishing peg is like a bank, a fishing bank.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's somewhere where you sit, is it?
Yeah.
Right.
Basically,
Right.
fishermen call it a peg.
I understand. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's usually got numbers on it.
Right.
And that's what I called. But usually you walk out and your fishing bank is right outside your fishing
Okay.
bit. There's 2 lakes. Well, say 2. There's 3, but the both is joined together.
Mm-hmm.
So they call it 2. One's called an old pond. Don't know why, because it's old. And the other one's called a new pond.
Right.
And it's really nice there. You're not far from Skegness at all.
Right.
Basically, you can just drive a mile from Fancy Island. Well, not a mile. I'll say a mile, but...
Yeah, I know where you are. You go past BLM and Audi on the right-hand side, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's quite good there. They got their own website.
Right. And what went wrong there?
Huh?
Did you say something went wrong there once?
Oh, yes. Something went wrong once. The caravan. My sister booked a caravan there once.
Right.
And had a gas leak in it.
Oh.
The every time you turn the electric on, the fuse would just blow.
Oh, dear.
And basically, they just wasn't looking after the
caravans.
caravan at all.
Well, did you know? How did you know there was a gas leak? Could she smell it? Because that propane,
Yeah.
it stinks.
Yeah.
It's got a very, very strong odour. You see, I don't know if you've noticed before, George, but if you notice in a caravan, there's holes in the floor. Have you ever noticed those?
Yes.
Right. Do you know what those holes are for? No.
No.
Okay. If you get a gas leak in a caravan, very dangerous. The gas is heavier than the air that you breathe, right? So if the gas comes out, it will go down to the floor. And the holes are there. Yes, that's why they're there. They're not well, they are kind of ventilation, but the holes are there in the floor. And you must never ever block those up, because if the gas leaks in the caravan, it will go to the floor level and it will simply go out of the holes and leave the caravan. That's what those holes are for. You must never ever put a carpet, just because it's a little bit chilly or you're getting a bit of a draft in or something like that. Never ever put anything over those holes in the bottom of the caravan, my darling.
What they're called air vents, aren't they?
Yeah, air vents. I think they're air vents. Yeah. But that's what they're there mainly for. Is if you get a gas leak, it just will fall out of those holes.
Yeah.
Isn't that an interesting fact? You see, I'm like a schools programme today, aren't I? Don't you think?
I don't know. I'm not watching you. I've just guessed.
Oh.
I've just actually come home, actually. I've just been to my sister's.
Where's that?
In Northampton.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Had a nice time there. What, have you had a barbecue or something?
No, we just took Lily home.
Oh, Lily. How's Lily? Is she all right?
Yes, she's fine.
Bless her heart. That's your niece, isn't it, Lily?
Yeah.
We like Lily.
I've got a niece and I've got 2 nephews.
Have you really? How old are they?
One's 2 now and one's 4? 4, 5?
4 or
Something
5,
like
is it?
that.
Is it? Good. And how's your nan? She all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell her I said hello, George. I know she likes to hear from me a lot, doesn't she?
Keeps moaning at me.
Why is she moaning, darling?
Well, it's just her driving's awful.
Go on, tell me.
Well, start with, everybody knows, what do you do at the traffic lights
Stop.
when you're at standby
Well, you wait, get
in
ready.
your manual car?
Go on.
You put in neutral, don't you?
Yeah, if you've got gear car, yeah.
Yeah. She puts in first gear.
Right.
So, of course, you put your foot on the clutch, don't you?
Yes.
Of course, what happens when you keep your foot on that clutch and you're in first gear?
Well, I don't know. What happens?
You end up wearing the clutch out.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm not a car person, to be honest.
No.
But yes, I do know that.
Yes.
I could double check with my brother-in-law, and he'll inform me of that. He's probably watching at this very moment.
Yes, I know that because I've been watching his Retro Restore Butler's Empire.
Oh yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
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 And also, because I've been to my other sister's house because she's moved in,
Yes.
and my nan stopped at the traffic lights. Fair enough. My nan said, I need to go in the next lane.
Right.
Well, the traffic lights changed green. She let all the cars go. Time she gone, it went red again.
Doesn't your grandpa drive? No.
He used to, but my nan won't let him.
Why is that then? Is he even worse?
No. Apparently, he will fall asleep if he's driving. Nightmare. But to be honest, my pap is actually better at the traffic light.
Is he? Do you tell your nan? Do you tell your nan when she's doing things wrong when you're in the back seat of the car?
No, I'll just keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing to do, George, to be honest.
Yeah. I just nod my head when she does something wrong.
A lot of people do that. A lot of people fall asleep while I'm doing my show, George. It's just how it is, you know.
Yeah.
Never mind. Well, thanks for calling in tonight, George.
Okay.
Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
And you, bye.
Right, and say hello to Lily for me as well. We miss Lily.
Well.
Bye now. Bye. There we are. George in Northampton there, boys and girls. Okay. This is on the subject of the holidays again. Vera says, I was coming home from China and I had to book a room in a hotel. I always put my bag against the door. After a couple of hours, someone tried to break in, but my bag was heavy and it stopped them. Yeah, I'm not keen on those, you know, those key. I mean, they're all cards now, aren't they? You don't really get keys for a hotel room anymore, do you? You get this card and you slide it down the thing and the door unlocks. I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest, you know, I've started leaving my door open in the hotel room and I hope someone comes in, to be honest. Mike in Brighton, speaking of hotel issues, he says, never book a hotel through a third party like booking.com. A little tip. Check the price. Yeah, this is coming from a hotel person, so take note of this, gang. A little tip. Check the price on booking.com. Then phone or email the hotel directly and offer the price on booking.com less minus 10% of the advertised price. The hotel will always accept the 10% discount as they pay booking.com 15 to 18% commission for every booking. This is worth knowing, isn't it? So everyone's a winner. Also, direct bookings receive the better rooms when the manager allocates the day before. So that's from Mike in Brighton. Mike, do many people ask for a free upgrade? I bet they do, don't they? Does that get on your nerves? Oh, any chance for free upgrade? No. Why should you have a free upgrade? What have you done? No. I hope you don't ever give them a free upgrade, Mike, in Brighton. Just going back to John's email earlier, talking about owning a villa there. Now, talking of housing, really, housing. Oh, hang on, we've got another call now. We're busy on the phone tonight, aren't we? Daniel's on the line. Good evening, Daniel.
Evening, Chris.
All right. Why aren't you out somewhere? Aren't you usually out on a Sunday night somewhere?
No, I know. I would have been at the Bridge Club tonight, but it just didn't happen.
Oh, why is that then?
Well, there's just some Sundays. I mean, it does cost in a way. I mean, the food is not exactly. It's sort of like about like £20 out every week, you know. And if other things are happening as well during the week, then that like builds up. Last night we was at the Stratford Bingo. I got a call from Penny Howe, my secret sister.
Have you got a secret sister?
Do you want to go
then?
to the Stratford Bingo?
Have you got a secret sister?
Well, that's only because she was when we was at Mecca East Stand. We worked together at Mecca East Stand for 4 years.
Oh right, yeah.
And there's her and Adele Diaz. It's a sort of like brother and sister like relationship because she knows she had sisters but no brother, and I just never had any brother or sister. Full stop.
Right.
So it's a bit like that, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. But you do realise, as I might have mentioned before, Chris, today is actually 30 years to the very day that we actually lost our granddad.
Oh, okay. May he rest in peace.
Yes, and
not an easy time when an anniversary comes around, is it, eh?
No, but there are some. I just feel grateful that I actually had at least 10 years worth of him. And of course,
that's how you got to look at it.
Yeah.
There's no other way of looking at something like that. You have to remember the happy times. I struggle greatly with that, you know, but what can you do, love?
It was the time when what had he done? I think there was one New Year's. It was New Year's Day, 1990, when he was supposed to be coming, and I think something had happened on the district line, and he's phoned us from a call box.
Yeah.
And Mum said, so where are you then? And he said, oh, I'm at Bow Street. And she, what, Bow Street? That's the bloody magistrates. And then he got, and hang on, you mean Bow Road?
Yes.
And so there was that. So I remember him as well. I think there's an episode with the Christmas lights where he used to keep saying to me all the time, Daniel, if you ever got to touch anything with electrics, you always isolate the power first.
Right.
And then one year, then our Christmas lights went on the blink one year. And he said, don't worry, I'll fix them.
Were they the little screw-in ones, were they?
Sorry?
Were they screw-in ones, were they?
I can't.
Bleeding nightmare they were. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I'm about 9 years old at the time. But he took him home, and him having been an electrics man, he always he just plugged him in anyway, and he's going round the thing, not even bothered to take his own advice, just gone round the circuit feeder, and all of a sudden he's touched the wrong one, and he's got and he's ended up with his like big plaster thing, around his finger and all that, but yeah, no, he was just how can I say that? He was just someone who could just light up a room.
Did he ever go on holiday with you?
Oh yeah, many times in '85.
Where to?
I think those Wick Ferry holidays we had.
Oh yeah, the Pontins,
yeah. I think all of them. Yeah, I think all of them. I think there was. I think of all the photos we got. There wouldn't have been one. Oh no, it wouldn't have been the '86 one. He wouldn't have been there because that's when we was with Jill and Denise Keemau, who were friends of ours. So he couldn't have been with us in '86. So that was. Yes, I remember that holiday for one thing, nearly being sick of the cars. Well, I mean, actually, this is the thing, because you drive, Chris. Do any of them cars still exist today?
What ones?
Where people didn't wanted to drive but didn't have so much money, so all they could afford was a car that only had one door each side, and you had to draw the seat back.
Oh yeah, 3-door cars. Yeah. Funnily enough, my mate was looking at a Mini with only 3 doors. Yeah, there's a lot of cars with just 3 doors, 2 at the front and 1 at the back. And you have to pull chairs forwards, yeah. In fact,
and I always
I don't know if
feeling more sick
my sister's got another car now. And that's like a roofless car. What's that called? Topless car? Roofless car? You know, where the roof comes down. And I'm sure that's only got 2 doors. Yeah, I'm sure it has. It's only got 2 doors. Loads of them around, yeah. Saves a bit of money on the price. That's what all that's about.
Yeah. So
I've always had a car with 5 doors. I can't stand all that pulling the seats forwards and back again. You know.
Yeah, I don't blame you, but
and also it worries me in an accident. You know, so if someone in the back, there's never anyone in the back of my car, to be honest, but, you know, if there was someone in the back, you have an accident and they've got to come through those 2 front doors, well, that's seconds. And that seconds could cost them their lives if the car exploded or something like that. That would bother me.
Yeah, so, our granddad, yes.
Yeah.
She always lightened up a room just when we walked in. I remember he used to come every Sunday for dinner.
Right.
And he'd walk in about 12 o'clock and he had his own key. Mum gave him the key, let yourself in, and I come through and go, hello, son. And you just knew, great, granddad's here and all that.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember now, I'm only up to about 10 years old at the time.
Was you?
Because he would have died, it was 4th of July 1991. So it was a week before my 11th birthday.
Oh gosh, a long time then, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that means this time next week I will be 41.
Gosh, that's so old. And yet you look so much older. Is that funny, Daniel? I mean, people look at me, they think I'm still in my early 20s. Hello?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just checking on the screen.
Yeah. All right, Daniel. Well, thanks for calling in.
Okay, Chris.
Cheerio.
Okay.
Bye now. Remembering Daniel's granddad there. George, if ever I drive a car, I would use an automatic car. Automatic. I got automatic. Yeah, I had a gear car for years and years, and then one year I thought I'd try the automatic. And once you've done that, you can't go backwards again. It's so easy, especially if you're driving sort of in a city like London. Oh, in and out with that bleeding clutch and gear stick when you're in the traffic. It's terrible. It's really terrible. Mike, on the subject of free upgrades, guests who look like Mark Bowles. Here we go. There we go. Guests look like Mark Bowles always get a free upgrade and extras. I wonder what he means by that. Actually, we always try to upgrade to direct booking. Besides, it costs the same for housekeeping to clean a standard room as it does to clean an executive superior room. I can only ever dream of going in an executive or supreme room, dear. You see, when I'm going abroad, I spend my money on the flights. That's what I upgrade, the flights. The hotel room really doesn't bother me. As long as it's safe, shower, telly, bed. That's all I ask for. Oh, and a tea machine. But mind you, when I go abroad, I always take my kettle. Very, very important to take your kettle there. He says, I've got a dash, so we'll catch the rest of your show later. Have a good evening at work, Mike. Vera had a 3-door Fiesta. I think it was 1.5L. When it hit 60 mile an hour, it would rattle so much at one point I thought I'd lost a wheel. Oh dear. Well, when I had those Defender Land Rovers, they were noisy. Diesel Land Rover. I loved it. Oh God, I loved the car. And it was I had 3 actually. The first one was bright red. I loved that car so much. It's so expensive. It was all right when the cash was rolling in it, and it was, it was. That was all right then, but so expensive to run those Land Rovers. Ridiculous. If you go to you do it all proper, like servicing regularly at the Land Rover dealers, they are a fortune to run. Mad money, mad money. Thank you, Vera. On the subject of housing, As you know, we've got a bit of a housing issue in this country. They sold all the council houses. I bought one. I bought one. Did I agree with it at the time? No, because I knew that they wouldn't spend the money on rebuilding them. So we're terribly short on houses in this country. Perhaps this is an answer. John Lewis. This is on the BBC website, so we're not quite sure if it's true or not. All right. BBC website. Check this out. What do you think of this? John Lewis has announced plans to move into residential property by building 10,000 homes for rental over the next few years. Now, I don't know what sort of homes they will be. Will they be like a council home, or will they be a little bit more upmarket? I don't know. I mean, there's rental when there's rental, you see. Now, I'm a landlord. I have flats that I rent out. 2 are turning over at the moment, so there's no cash come. Oh, there's no profit here. No profit. 2 are turning over at the moment, so there'll be nothing coming in from those for a month or so. And on the scale of where flats are, so 1 would be the cheapest, not looked after. 10 would be the best. Mine are probably at about a 5.5, I would say. 5.5 to 6. Okay? They're not modern by the sense of the word modern, but they're certainly clean, and they're dry, and they're perfectly livable, and they're usually decorated between tenants. Everything is fixed as quick as possible. Okay? So on a scale of 1 to 10, I suppose mine are up. No, I would say about 6. 6 to 7. 6 to 7. 6. Should we say 6.5? Let's say mine are on a 6.5. Okay? So perfectly all right. They're certainly nowhere near the ones. You've seen really bad properties on the telly before, haven't you, eh? Disgusting. Some of these landlords, in particular London and cities, where people pay vast sums of money to live in a dump. Boilers not working. Cold and damp and mould on the walls, and the landlord does nothing about it. It's disgusting. Mine are not, certainly not like that. I wonder where John Lewis will be on that. It says the department store chain said it wanted to address the national housing shortage and support local communities. It said the plans would give them a firm, stable, long-term income, as well as providing new job opportunities. Tenants will have the choice of renting fully furnished with John Lewis products or using their own. So if you're going to furnish them with John Lewis, but I've got John Lewis carpets in here. Oh, yes, dear. No crap in this house, my love. I remember when I had the carpets done. It's the carpets in the stairs, top hallway, at my bedroom and this room. It's all John Lewis. And when I went in, he said, how much do you want to spend? I said, look, I don't really want to have to do them again. Okay, come over here. And I paid, and they come and done them, and they're lovely. I've had them done a few years now. I've also got John Lewis cupboards in the bedroom. Solid, not MDF, dear. Not MFI, John Lewis cupboards. Never buy another set once you bought those. John Lewis bed in there. Lovely. Last year's. That bed's it's got to be about 5 years old now, I would imagine. Okay? And it's just so comfortable. The bed at the caravan is about 2 years old from Argos. 250 quid, not comfortable. Not really. Sometimes I can feel a spring pushing against my rib cage. It says, as a business driven by social purpose, we have big ambitions for moving into property rental, said the Director of Strategy and Commercial Development for the John Lewis Partnership. She added, the move plays to our strength as a trusted brand known for strong service. Now, if I was renting a property off John Lewis, I think it would be, I wouldn't be disappointed, I'm sure. What they're going to charge, I don't know. It said 7,000 of the initial 10,000 homes would be on sites in its existing property portfolio, ranging from studio flats to houses. So I don't know how that's going to work. Are they going to build them on top of their stores or something? I don't know. He also said some homes could be built on entirely new sites. It added that all housing developments would come with a concierge service and would feature a Waitrose convenience store near the entrance. Oh, these are not going to be cheap. As soon as I saw that concierge service, I mean, maybe I could have that here. Anyone want a job? All you have to do is sit in a little box outside my front door and welcome me as I come back. Oh, good evening, Mr. Reardon. Oh, you got some letters. Thank you very much. One of my friends, he did that job in somewhere South London, Bermondsey, Rotherhithe, somewhere like that. And you go in these beautiful flats and they've got the carpet in the front and a bloke sitting behind a desk, lots of little boxes where people get their letters. But they are an absolute fortune, either to rent or if you've bought one, then you have these service charges, which are quite astronomical. Very nice. In some of these flats, they have their own swimming pool, their own gym. It looks like it's going to be that sort of thing, doesn't it? The Sunday Times, which first reported the story, said some homes could be built in department store car parks, above Waitrose supermarkets or next to distribution centres. You see, John Lewis as a department store, they suffer like all the other shops, don't they, from internet shopping. And didn't they make a little loss last year or very small amount of profit? They're looking to try and diversify, I suppose, where the money comes from. You can understand it, can't you? Businesses have got to change to keep up. We don't want them to. I would hate to lose any of the John Lewis's stores. We have lost some already. It's wonderful just being able to walk round there and look. Don't necessarily buy anything. I certainly do it at Christmas. I didn't do it last year, of course. It's one of the things... when me and my mate go up to London on Christmas, we go to Hamleys. Then we have a walk around John Lewis. You usually go up on top when they've done the roof out with little wooden sheds and things, and you can go and get a hot chocolate or alcoholic drink. Go and sit in one of the little wooden sheds, like little Wendy houses, or on the bench. It's really good. The first John Lewis homes are planned for South East England, but the partnership said it believed there were opportunities across the country. The announcement... Oh, perhaps they're going to buy the caravan site I'm on. John Lewis's first caravan site. I could be the concierge person. They could move my caravan to the front gate. I could take in people's letters. The announcement comes as John Lewis's traditional department store retail business has come under increasing pressure from the decline of UK high street and the rise of an increasingly competitive online market. Since Dame Sharon White took over as boss in February last year, the chain has closed about a third of its stores, leaving it with just 35. It's sad, isn't it? See, I remember when John Lewis kept expanding, every few months you'd see new John Lewis opening. Now they're closing them. It's really sad, really sad. George says, I like auto stop and start when you're at traffic lights. It switches itself off. Yeah, my car does that. Evening to Rumble Bumble. Hello, Rumble Bumble. All right, sir. Rumble Bumble says, good evening, Chris. I stay in a few hotels when away working and always take my jar of Thai food QT. I know that. I tried that once. I didn't really like it. It's got the milk in that already, in it? It's sort of like a dried milky type stuff. And my sweetener. Also take my own mug, as I do like a nice brew in something from home. Yeah, again, I try. Now, I don't always remember that. I always remember the kettle. Don't always remember the mug. Because you go in these hotel rooms and they've got these little cups. Hello? Where is the cup? It's so small, isn't it? And I have to have about 4 of those. No, I do the same as you, Rumble Bumble, and I take my own mug with me. If you're wondering why I keep writing stuff down, I want to tell you this. Right. That stuff we're talking about there, that wasn't on my menu of stuff that we're talking about. And I usually change it at the end of the show, so anyone watching a recording of the show gets a more accurate description of what's happened in it. You can't always go by the menu on there to what we get through, usually, by the end of the night. Sometimes I look at the clock and I'm shocked to reveal now it's 25 to 10. And I thought it was about 9 o'clock. I thought it was about 10 to 9, actually. It's 25 to 10. Can you believe that? It goes so quick. So quick doing this. Really does. Anyway, Rumble Bumble says he takes his own mug as he likes an ice brew and something from home. Never been upgraded, although some places need upgrading. I'll go along with that, actually. I've never been upgraded. Never. Not in the hotel or on a plane or a coach or on anything. I've never, ever been upgraded. Used to happen, my mate and his other half, not together anymore, used to happen to them all the time. Always being upgraded. How is that possible? What do you do? I've always got to pay the full bleeding whack. Mind you, when I went to my, who was it now? Oh, it was my first club class flight on the British Airways to Australia. It was the first one. I went to the counter. I said, hello, I would, club class check-in. That's like business class, right? Cost a lot more. Your choice is, do you want to save up for it or don't? I saved up for it. Cheap hotel at the other end. Fine. Don't need expensive hotel. And went to this. Oh, hello. I said, it's my first time flying like this. She said, oh, you're going to love it. She said, I'm afraid to tell you one thing. I said, what's that? Once you've done it this way, you'll never want to go back to flying the other way. Okay, then. I said, well, I've got no idea what to do. What do I do? So she said, that's all right. She said, everything that says fast track, go look for that. Go through that. And then when you get to the, through the security, again, that's all fast track, right? Walk past all the plastic chairs, look for British Airways Executive Lounge, go straight there. All right, thank you very much. And I did all that. I loved it. Oh, it's just, and that's how I do the flying now. That's why I don't go so much. You can do like 5 cheap flights a year or one of those. You take your choice, I'd rather fly in comfort. And you do the whole lounge thing. And then on the plane, I was on the plane. You walk in. Oh, good morning, sir. Just over there, please. And then someone comes out. You're standing at your chair. Someone, can I take your jacket for you, sir? Oh, yes, all of this. And I'm all dressed up. Jacket and shirt and nice jeans. Would you like a glass of champagne or a glass of orange juice? It's all like that. It's all like that. Anyway, flight, lovely. They really look after you, the British Airways Club class. And then at the other end, coming off the plane, and oh, sir, we've heard this is your first. I never told them. I probably did. I said, oh, this is ever so nice, because I'm quite appreciative of things. While other customers are sitting there moaning their bloody heads off, I'm very appreciative of things. Whatever. If someone does something, I'm very, very appreciative, And as I'm getting off the plane, we'd like you to have these. And she gave me a carrier bag. I said, oh, what's this? She said, it's just a little drink. We heard that you're going to someone's wedding. Well, yes, it was my cousin's wedding, actually. We heard you're going to someone's wedding, so we thought you'd like to have 2 of those. And in that bag was 2 bottles of champagne. Wow! And I don't know what that cost them. Probably not very much, but that's not the point. Not the point. They made me feel very special. And that probably is good to me as an upgrade, because I just don't get these upgrades and things. I'd love to fly. I'd tell you what I'd like to fly in. I think it's Dubai Airlines. Dubai Airlines or one of them, one of those Arabian type ones. And they do this flat apartment in the sky type thing. Shower and everything. It's like 27 grand each way. I'd quite like that, Yeah, but it is very different on there. Thank you, Rumble Bumble. Who knows? One day we might get upgraded. I don't know. Let's have a look. Vera says, I can imagine that staff, the John Lewis staff, would probably get first crack at the housing before anyone else. I think you would expect them to, really, Vera. If I was working for John Lewis and I didn't get first crack at a wick, I'd certainly be a little bit disappointed. Like a bonus. I'm sure you get stuff. What do you get in Sainsbury's? You probably get a bit of a discount on the food that you buy there. I don't know. Phil works in a Sainsbury's. Paul says the Chris Wynn talk show brought to you from John Lewis, never knowingly undertold. Oh dear, Paul. I'm going to text you my. I'll Facebook you my phone number later, just in case anything goes wrong. All right for tomorrow, and I'll be leaving here at. I booked the table for 8, so I'll leave here at 6. Give myself 2 hours to get there. Okay, that should be all right. I'm sure I will hit terrible traffic, but 2 hours should just about do it. If I get stuck anywhere, I'll give you a ring. All right. John is curious. Have you been refused a hotel room with your partner or got odd looks from the guests? Always wondered that. Yes. Yes, it was in Brighton, around about 1989, 1990. Me and my other half at the time, his name was Shane. We booked a hotel. No, we just went to Brighton, but we didn't have a hotel. We couldn't find anywhere. Everything was booked, so we went in one. We have got a room, but I'm afraid we've only got doubles. I said, well, would it be all right to share that? And this bloke says, no, I'm afraid not. That's the only time, really. Only once. I don't think it would happen. Well, they can't do it now, can they? I don't think it would happen anymore. So, yes, it did happen once. Around about 89, 1990. It was a bit different then to what it is now, though, isn't it? You know, life in general. Vera gets 10% discount. At the moment, it's 15% for 1 week. Oh, Vera, get the stuff in. Get your toilet rolls in, girl. Get those toilet rolls in now. I got stacks of them in my cupboard. Anyway, that's the John Lewis story. I bet their places are really nice as well. I bet they are. Now, and on that subject of John Lewis losing shops and things like that, has your town lost many shops? What have you got left there? Now, here in Bracknell, about 3 years ago, we had the town centre rebuilt. And we got all brand new spanking shops. But some of those are already disappearing. There was one I noticed the other day, actually. Oh, Petite Valerie seems to be closed. We seem to have lost Petite Valerie. That certainly hasn't reopened. And there are a couple that are boarded up. We have brand new shops here. Superdry, we got a Phoenix. We got an L'Occitane. I think it's like perfumes and things like that. I said Superdry. Yeah, one of the trainers' shops seems to have disappeared. Sold trainers and shoes. It's all right, though, yeah. It's not too bad here. But before, there was a lot of shops closed. What about where you are? Is it okay there? You see a lot of places now losing the Debenhams. Have lost the Debenhams, haven't they? I think with these shopping centres, once you've lost the big shop, in the case of Lincoln, one of those would be, or perhaps it was Debenhams. That was it. That was the big shop there. Once you lose those, a lot of the little ones follow suit because, you know, they get their business from people walking past to go to Debenhams. Well, if Debenhams are gone, there's no one walking past anymore, is there? Lincoln Town Centre, that's all right there. You know, it's a bit parking and that sort of thing. Bracknell's fantastic. Our shopping centre here is amazing, really. Very important to Jason Hughes, of course. We do have a Greggs. Vegan sausage rolls. I've got hot dogs later. Two. With a bit of cheese in them as well. I've decided I'm going to absolutely eat that last bit of Applewood vegan cheese today. It's vile, but I can't throw it away because it's food and I don't chuck food away. Not buying that again. Don't buy that. Applewood vegan cheese. It's disgusting. Horrible stuff. And yet the Applewood cheese is so nice itself. Anyway, in the Daily Mirror. It once attracted thousands of people each weekend. What's it like in your town centre? Have you lost many shops at all? Still got the phone line open at the moment if you want to call in. 0208 144 3477 if you haven't called in. It once attracted thousands of people each weekend keen to browse through the many stores on display. But once the bustling shopping centre known as Ebervale Festival Park is now like a ghost town. This is reported in Wales Online. I don't know if we have any Welsh people. Anyone in Wales at the moment? It says if it wasn't for the single Sports Direct store at its far end, nobody would visit the site at all. Through the empty walkways and boarded up windows, now only the sounds of sheep on the nearby mountains can be heard. And of course, we've been warned about this for years, haven't we? The marching on of the online retailers. Of course, the big one, Amazon. I'm sure you buy stuff on there. I do it all the time. So easy. It just comes in the post. No hassle. No £2 for parking. No looking around for a bloody parking space. Don't have to put up with all that anymore. Well, on the other, that means all the shops are closing. We knew this was going to happen. I remember Theo Prophetis, one of Dragon's Den people. He was on the news once talking about this, and he said the pandemic has just sped this up. What would have happened in 10 years' time has happened now because of the pandemic. It sounds sad reading it, doesn't it? Through the empty walkways and boarded up windows, now only the sounds of sheep on the nearby mountains can be heard. Bah! Even the popular wishing well at the site's entrance has been fully drained recently, further adding to the misery the site has faced over the year. And in a place that once offered such promises for tourism in Blaenau, Gwent, Wales, there is just one store left. Despite efforts and proposals from the local council to buy the site, as well as a number of other solutions such as the proposed splash park and rumoured hotel in recent years. As it stands, Festival Park is a long forgotten attraction on the picturesque hills overlooking Eberval. While a search on the internet will tell you that the shopping centre is permanently closed and that the phones no longer ring, there is still no official word on the park's future from the owners, GWM Capital. And the council have declined to comment as well. I mean, how sad is that? Shop owner Kim Maguire, who moved to Eberval with her John Jenkins gift shop, which was one of the original stores on the site, said she was bitterly disappointed with what had happened to the town's iconic shopping centre and still missed her time there. Filled with fairground attractions, plant exhibitions and the famous mechanical clock, it brought over 2 million tourists to the area of the former Eberval Steelworks, surrounded by stunning Welsh hills. I often remember when I was younger, I always heard stories on the news about Eberval Steel, didn't you? Do you remember that? British Steel. It was later turned into a modern shopping facility featuring 30 shops and restaurants with a children's play park and its own owl sanctuary. Funny you mentioned owl sanctuary. I was out in the car, my mate's car yesterday, and this owl flew across the car. It wasn't late either. And it was about... What time would it have been? Probably about 8 o'clock at night. This owl flew right across the car. It sounded like it clipped its wing on the car as it flew over, but I don't know. She says, we moved the business to Eberval last year and it's been much quieter than it was back up at Festival Park, as the town doesn't have as many visitors as we used to get up there. I still regularly hear from customers about how much they miss Festival Park and how shocked they are to what's happened over the last few years. I mean, it's so sad seeing this happen. When I go to Bracknell Shopping Centre, during the week it can be quiet. We have a Phoenix, but in all honesty, I never really see that very busy. You know, we usually have one or a few people milling around in there, but not like the hordes of people that used to go through Bentles. We used to have a Bentles here, which was a bit old and run down. You know, the floor was kind of, you looked at the floor and there's a few tiles missing, that sort of thing. But still, there was a lot of people in there just browsing. Don't seem to see that in Phoenix at all. Well, since it was built, the last things I bought in there was a handbag for my niece, I think, and my niece. No, it was a handbag for. Oh, who was it now? I think my niece and her daughter. Yeah, that was the last thing I bought in there some Christmases ago. It's really sad. Vera says that we used to have the longest market in Europe, where she is. It was about a mile long, not anymore. It's getting shorter and shorter. But even though I'm a veggie, we are fighting to keep Manzi, our pie and mash shop that has been in the market for years. See? Another one there. Rumble Bumble says, I walked through my town centre on Friday as needed to go to the bank and was shocked at how many shops have closed, not being to town for a while. We have nothing left except for the racehorses. Even a large racing hotel was closed. There's just stuff closing down left, right and centre, isn't it? We're going to close the phone line now. Anyone who was going to call in, you're too late now. Should have called earlier. Go on, try and call now. You'll just get an answer phone. Don't care. I mean, where my sister lives and where my caravan is, sort of Woodall Spa, that's more like private shops, if you see what I mean. But it's local as well. Yeah, you've got your co-op there, and there's a small Boots the Chemist. I'm just trying to think. I think apart from that, they're all sort of individual shops, if you see what I mean. Oh, they've got a Sainsbury's local there now, which is quite a lot. Well, it's quite. Is it like? No, it's not that large. It's not that large. It's not a big Sainsbury's. It's like a. It's not a Sainsbury's supermarket. It's like a large local. Do you know what I mean? It used to be Budgeons. So they've got that and the co-op there, and Boots. I don't think there's any other chains there at all. They get the most wonderful bakers there. Trouble is, there's always a queue a mile long outside it, especially when the tourists come. They've got all biscuits and crisp cakes and things in the front. Oh, it's beautiful there, really. John says, I do as they seem to think Sherry's my grand... I don't know what you're talking about there. I do as they seem to think Sherry's my grand... I don't know what you're talking about there. Of course, I order children's meals for her to save money. What, you order children's meals for... I do as they seem to think Sherry's my granddaughter. Oh, I see what you mean now. Yeah, I got it now. I do what? I order children... Oh, I know what he's going... Oh, come on, take the phone away from him, Sherry. It's 10 o'clock now. He's just started putting bits and pieces. Put the whole thing there, dear. Otherwise, I know what you're talking about. We have moved on from there, probably. He'll moan now. Oh, well, you should have read the message out earlier. We're busy talking, dear. Talking. Anyway, that's that story there. What about this one? Now, you know your Amazon device. Oh, have we had the local weather? Sorry. Stand by, everyone. I'm now going to read you your local weather. Are you ready? Make sure you're near your Amazon device. Here comes your local weather. Alexa, what's the weather?
Right now in Bracknell, it's 17 degrees Celsius with showers. Tonight's forecast has cloudy skies moving in and out, with a low of 13 degrees.
Did you get your local weather from your Amazon device where you are? I hope you did. I love doing that. But there's a lady here. She wants to change the name of your Amazon device, you know. She wants to change it. Why? Because someone's taken the mick out of her daughter, that's why. When you hear the name, the chances are one of the first things that pops into your mind will be the Amazon device, of course. Millions of homes around the world regularly call upon the digital assistants to order their shopping, listen to music, or even just tell them what the weather's like. But while devices like the Amazon Echo and Dot are widely seen as a brilliant technological advancement, it turns out that the use of the name is causing grave hardship to many people who bear the same name. Well, I've got to be honest, I don't know anyone called... Do you? I don't know anyone called that name. Alex, yes, but not... In fact, one mum has gone as far as changing her own teenage daughter's name after she suffered relentless bullying at school because her name was... I'm being very careful today not to say it. She started to not want to introduce herself because of the jokes and the backlash. She was, and still is, a child, yet adults thought it was okay to make a joke of her. It's devastating. Oh, not adults. Come on, people. Don't take the piss out of kids. That's just horrible. Never do that. The school was unhelpful and told she needed to build resilience, the mum told her. That's the old thing of sticks and stones may break my bones. I think the school have got a point there, to be honest. All this cothering children in cotton wool. And you've seen these blooming parents going down to school shouting and screaming at the teachers because they've done something they don't like. And I don't mean child abuse. You know, I don't know how you change that now. We've gone so far along that line. We've got to change everything. One person doesn't like this, so we've got to change everything. The cancel culture, they're called. Cancel culture. The story goes on. She's in a much better place now. We have cut off friends. Look what they've done. We have cut off friends and moved her to a new school to allow her a fresh start. Oh, Christ, I mean, I was called Bender and stuff like that and Bucktooth at school. I'm all right. You have to build it. Oh, you've got to let the child build up a piece of resilience. Haven't you? Oh, God, it's going to be a boring world. It's getting worse and worse now. What is it I saw on the news tonight? Disney have dropped the terms boy and girl, in case it offends someone. Oh, I'm not joking. That was on Alex Belfield's channel this afternoon. Give that a go if you want to have a watch. Swears a bit, but he's all right, he is. Alex Belfield talks a hell of a lot of common sense. Disney and Florida have dropped the terms boy and girl in case someone's offended and sues them. So these parents have changed her name, cut off friends and moved her to a new school to allow her a fresh start. The injustice will never leave her or us. Amazon must change the default wake word on its devices. Woke on its devices. There was clearly not enough ethical research into using the word. They're off their heads, aren't they? We keep changing things for one person or a very small group of people. It turns out that this is far from being an isolated incident, with many other parents coming out with similar stories of relentless bullying over the name. Well, bullying, the school should take on the bullying, shouldn't they? The trouble is, you call... It's not like when us over 50s were at school. You call in a child... I suppose, into a teacher's, headmistress's room, whatever, to tell them to stop bullying. The next thing you know, the parents will be down there shouting and screaming that their child isn't a bully. You don't know your children. How many times have we seen this stuff on the telly? Like it's a child on drugs or something like that. Obviously not a 7-year-old, someone like, 14, 15, 16 maybe. Your child's bit, oh no, my child wouldn't take drugs. They wouldn't do something like that. Yes, they are. You don't know what they're not doing. On a similar sort of thing, I suppose I could argue that, my parents would never have known I was smoking. I used to go over the common to have a cigarette. Another man who's got a 6-year-old daughter called Alexa said it started in reception. Older children would say things like, play disco. Other boys picked up on it and shouted commands. I'm sorry. Commands at her. Start dancing for us. Well, that's what children do. They take the piss out of each other, don't they? It's always happened. Look at Four Eyes over there. Oh, there's Fatty. Oh, there's Bucktooth. Oh, there's the Bender. It's just... and if you just take this word out, they just think of another one. That's what happens. That's what children do. Isn't it? And if it gets too bad, the school has to do something about it. But like I say, the trouble is that now the parents take the side of the child now. They won't leave it to the children. Cool, woe betide us if I was ever sent... Well, I never was. I was never sent home. If you were sent home from school with a note... from the teacher, you was in serious trouble. Now, they pick up the note, go down to school and then kick the hell out of the teachers. How does this work now? It's just crazy. The story goes on, we were at the park the other day and every single boy there was saying it to her constantly. Oh, it's not funny, really, is it? Alexa, do some dancing. Alexa, get us a cup of tea. She started clamming up. I think it's affecting her confidence. Adults make fun of her too. No excuse for adults to be doing that, really, is there? She said to me, I wish people didn't know my name. People buying these devices are unwittingly adding to the problem. Oh, so it's our fault, is it? You're blaming us? In response, Amazon said it's saddened to hear of these girls' experience and said it named to reflect its values. I mean, it's not nice, is it? I mean, it's not nice for a child to be bullied. I had it a little bit. It wasn't too bad, to be honest. Did it destroy me? No. No, it didn't. I think it's just the way life is now. People are less resilient because they're all covered in bits of cotton wool all the time, I think, really. You know, not nice, though. I seem to have set Vera's off again. Vera gets the aloe vera jokes all the time. Aloe Vera. Don't, Vera, because you know I'll start. Oh, do you know, I haven't checked my emails for a while. How stupid is that? I should. There's emails from Vera there. Did you email Vera and then send text because you weren't getting your Vera? Sorry, darling. Sorry. John says, I mean, I do get problems in hotels when booking. So John Parrish gets that problems in hotels. All right. Okay, gang. Well, look at the time. It's 10 o'clock already. How's that going so quickly, dear? So I'm going to disappear now. Thank you very much for joining us on our little show today. Have I got any things to thank you for? No, that's all right, darling. There we are. Where's my music? There we are. Yes, thanks very much for joining us on the show on this Sunday night. Our next chat show will be with you on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, all right? Tuesday night, 8 o'clock is our next chat show on this channel, live and exclusively on this channel. Do you like my little subscribe button down there? It's nice, isn't it? Those of you watching the recording of the show. Now, I'll be on the radio tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. There we are. 9 o'clock, Monday the 5th of July, starts just after the 10 o'clock, or the 9 o'clock news, all right? 9:02 a.m. tomorrow morning. Hope you'll be able to join us. Alan Ross is on there tonight at midnight. I hope you'll be able to join him. He's a nice bloke. He'll chat to you, he will entertain you, and he'll play some nice music, all right? Looking forward to having a little trip out tomorrow. Tomorrow night I'm meeting a very good friend of mine who I haven't seen for about 20 years, Paul. You've seen him on there, Paul Brown, who's there, so I'm meeting up with him tomorrow night in Rotherhithe. I've got a little table booked in a pub, so I'm very much looking forward to doing that. Have a lovely evening. Thanks very much for watching and listening, and I'll see you again tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. reachonair.com. Good night now.